Welcome to Sponsored by Nobody. This week, sponsored by tomatoes or tomatoes? Who cares how you say it? They're amazing. It's December 2020, and you're listening to Leaves in the Jungle, Season 1, Interlude 2.
Episode 11.
In this game, we will be using the Wildsea world setting and system. In this interlude, we will be doing mini character building. We have currently Austin as Zitsuyaku and Bev as Rook. The two of them have decided to go on a delightful shopping day together. Your ship has just landed in a wondrous port. There's a huge outdoor market in front of you. The sun is shining, birds are singing, the air is lovely, and yes, go ahead.
So it's midday, you said?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going along, kind of clacking and looking at my armor plates and noticing the sidelong glances as people notice me walking along this very small and nerdy-looking ardent.
Hey.
Well, you know what? If you coin the term gear rabbit, this is what you get.
I feel like I'm walking next to you just wondering, how did I get myself into this situation exactly?
That's exactly what we're thinking.
I was doing a job, and now I'm here, and we're shopping.
I kind of look over you. How does one shop for vanity?
I mean, I guess it depends on, are you looking for clothes, or deeply skeptical look at him?
It's a deeply skeptical look at me.
Are you looking to pimp? Like what is your goal here exactly? I know you said you just wanted to be more appealing, but I need. Are we shining your armor? I don't know.
Ooh, a mirror would be nice, but I just want people to stop looking at me like I'm going to eat them. As like a couple scuttles away, because I raised my voice there.
That's okay, fair.
We mean them no harm. We're covered in bright colors. We're not threatening.
Yes. Okay. So what's in our immediate surroundings?
All sorts of. It's like a full outdoor bazaar. If you want a type of shop to be here, it's here. There's, people with carpets laid out and things all over the carpets. There's people with actual stands and, booths. There's shop fronts. It's a full market bazaar area.
I kind of just like look around me and I'm like, maybe less threatening looking armor?
How?
Excellent question. I look for the nearest armory boutique, but looking for this is really more of a makes you look pretty more than actually practical kind of a thing. And I look for a salesman to just bail me out of this, basically.
One of the salesmen overhearing you guys says, "Oh, we have the prettiest armor in the whole reach," and he starts showing you some different armors.
I don't want anything to clash with the natural motif I have going on.
I got it.
What?
Okay.
Some of this is chitin, some of it is metal. You can't just attach armor willy-nilly. We have ways.
Okay, what about something flowery?
Flowers are nice.
Flowers are nice. Flowers, yes.
And your bees like the flowers, don't they?
The bees do like the flowers. I think that's going more towards the hive mind mentality, but humans also like flowers, and what are humans? Ardents. We like soft things, we like bright things, we like cuddly looking things.
Then what? Then why do you like Gomez?
He's
He's pokey and hard.
He's just got such a cheerful outlook. I mean, it's hard to be cynical around him.
I squeeze by him in the galley and he tears my webs.
I mean, yeah, you need to figure out how to avoid that. But mostly it's just, like the positive. You just feel like he's smiling, even though he lacks lips. What if we found a way to make you smile?
Smiling does seem to make you more comfortable.
Yes. Looking around the room for armor that even vaguely resembles happy looking, like a helmet.
Yeah, there's definitely a helmet here that has like a cutout, almost like not quite a Joker smile, but definitely a smile on it.
Like it's one of those things where if you squint, it's definitely a face.
Yeah, but it's metal because it's armor, like it's a helmet, and it's a little bit uncanny valley, but not quite because it's metal. Like it's clearly metal. It's weird looking, but it's definitely the closest thing to a smiley face on a helmet you can get.
Okay, I kind of like hold it up and like, what do you think of that?
I've never had a face before. I kind of like put it on top of my form and then like it kind of wiggles and writhes and it's like a bulb goes up into it to hold it on. Kind of like a pin from bowling. A bowling pin, as it's called.
Aha, here, tell of these.
Magical inventions words. Should learn to master them one day. So, all I'm imagining is like the necromonger helmet with like the face mask. That's like tragedy and comedy at the same time.
Okay.
But like all like twisted and stretched, unless it's an open face.
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely similar to like the necromonger, but like instead of sad, it's smiling.
Oh, that's just terrifying.
Yeah.
I turn to the shopkeeper. What do you think?
He kind of takes a half a step back, and he's like, "It looks good, sir. Yeah, definitely. Looks great on you. What wonderful."
I just kind of give him this look that says, "You are so full of crap."
And then a thumbs up. Keep it going.
Yeah. It's better than before, I guess.
I'm like, does this make you feel more at ease?
Yes, I'm very at ease. It's a lovely helmet.
Great!
I wish we stocked more of them.
Excellent. Would you say that we are friends now?
Yes.
I just look over the
Especially
shoulder,
if you buy the
nodding.
helmet.
Nod.
With a friendship helmet like this, how could I refuse?
Excellent.
Okay. I'm like, I kind of pull him out there and I'm like, okay, I feel like there's more we can do here. I have no idea how to do it, but I feel like, you know what? I kind of look over and I see, is there like a place that sells like jackets and coats and cloaks and stuff?
Yeah, there's a shop just across the street.
Okay. I go and I find just kind of like your classic hooded cloak. And I find one that's kind of got just like nice pastels, like nice warm pastel colors. And I just kind of like throw it over him and I kind of like mostly but not entirely pull it down over the helmet. And I'm like, that kind of helps, I think. Maybe.
So like I'm a ring wraith with like a hooded cowl over my creepy Dante's Inferno mask.
But also maybe not. No. Well, I was thinking more like, okay, if we're going Lord of the Rings, I'm thinking, like that first scene with Aragorn where it's just like he's just sitting in the corner with the pipe and how the cloak is kind of half pulled over his face.
Yeah, just like to obscure it.
Yeah, like that, but like soft, like oranges and yellows and some reddish pinks, like in there.
I do like autumn colors.
There you go. Okay. we're working on this. So we, like we get the cloak, and we're kind of just like walking through town, and I'm trying to figure these things out. And at one point, I just kind of like sign. I'm like, honestly, though, I feel like what we put on you isn't going to do as much as like your manners, how you talk and move around people. Like okay, like you've got a vaguely, standard form with like the sort of torso and arms and legs things, but like sometimes like when you move your limbs in a way that we can't, and that's unnerving.
When she says like lifts off my parts, I twitch the opposite parts.
And I'm like, okay, you see that the twitching. It's
I can't help it sometimes. I get it when I get nervous.
That's fair. So and so do we. We also twitch, but it's different. It's our like our joints only move in certain directions sometimes. So when you move like the opposite direction of our joints, it just reminds us that that's not actually an arm.
Don't blame me for your species' inefficiencies. It's not my fault, but I will strive to not bend in half in front of you anymore.
Yeah, okay, like getting frustrated at this point. I'm like, look, you're the one who asked how to make things more comfortable. I'm just trying to tell you, and I know that it's not perfect, and I know that society does not work perfectly for us to be comfortable with you, but this is what, I'm just being honest, this is what it is. I'm so sorry.
I look down at this like mildly vibrating human. Kind of like swish my cloak back.
Why don't we practice some small talk?
And some walking, perhaps?
Yeah, just observe the people around you and just, like pick somebody and try to copy them, and then like when they're out of sight, pick someone else and just practice, and I can coach you.
I immediately start like shadowing the first person I see with like 6 inches between us perfectly. And I look over like this.
I just kind of like right behind him, and I like pull back, and I'm like, no. We're very particular about personal bubble, especially if we don't know somebody has violated our personal bubble.
Like with Gomez in the galley.
Yes.
So if I imagine everyone has thorns,
yes,
smile.
Think like
it should go better.
Think like a 3 foot. But like make sure that they kind of can see you coming.
I look down at my now brightly penanted, orange-cloaked Dante's Inferno mask-clad self. I don't think I can avoid that now.
I mean, if you come up directly behind somebody, then yeah, their field of vision is in the front side.
So she says this. Is there any place around that sells wind chimes?
Yeah.
I immediately go over and pick up a set made
Excellent.
of the closest thing to bamboo I can find. My nature motif.
And you know what? That kind of works. Those are soothing.
And I kind of like form a cavity in my chest of the web and hang it in there.
You do that, and I'm just like, oh, it's not soothing anymore.
Now I cannot surprise people. And they're soothed by the music of the wind and my movements.
As long as we don't see it come out of your chest cavity, yes.
And on that soothing note, I think we'll call it here. Excellent. And we're back. Okay.
Now we're back.
Now we're back. I am Ian, playing the Firefly, and we have...
Bev, playing Rook the Ardent.
And I'm Jonathan, playing Gomez the Ectus.
And in this episode, the two of them have found themselves working on the engine together. Go ahead.
I feel really bad for the ship. It's been so long since we could give it any maintenance.
I mean, I feel like this is just how my world is, you know? Like, I don't know if there's like a maintenance time so much as it's just constantly keeping things from falling apart, but also there's like bugs everywhere.
It's kind of nice though, like these walls all around us, enclosing us, enveloping us, just like a nice warm hug.
I mean, I never thought of it that way. But I do like being well contained, right? Because, like, I don't know, I don't know, growing up, it's like if you were outside and you dropped something, it's gone forever. So, like, having, like, a floor that is attached to the walls is just, it makes me feel a little safer. Maybe that's part of the reason I started boating.
Yeah, it like grabs like a wrench and starts loosening some stuff so we can like get behind a panel to do some stuff. And he says, "Yeah, I grew up on a spit, like a piece of land that was just lifted up by the trees, and it was pretty stationary and stuff. It was pretty good. We actually had buildings there. You know, like the places have buildings, but ours are on ground, and you don't really see that. It's different."
Right? I know. I mean, like, I remember the first time I walked in one of those things, and it was like so still.
Yeah,
I'm just used to everything swaying slightly all the time. Like, breeze comes and it's just all right. The whole world moving up and down slightly. Everything needs to be like relatively secure, and like seriously, I don't know how parents of small children do it. Like, they're just always like, oh, what happens if I pick up this fork and I throw it off the side of our house? Now it's gone forever. You know?
You know, speaking of kids, like the first time I got on a crew, so when you walk on the ground your whole life, you don't realize how heavy your footsteps are. So for about the first few weeks, I just had to learn how to not ka-thunk, ka-thunk, ka-thunk all around the ship, because like everyone could just hear me coming. I mean, I'm a big guy, but you know,
Were you
when
trying
you're
to sneak up on people?
no, I was just really loud. I was waking people up.
That's fair. That's not good. Yeah.
I think you just walk different when you grow up on ground.
Right? I know. It's like I remember the first time like walking on ground, it was just like I almost like kept tripping.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Because it's not smooth. Like when you build a city out of wood and stuff, it's you make the ground still, or there's stairs or there's ramps.
Oh gosh, right.
But then
We
you have
started on stairs. Some people try to make stairs work in Shankling communities, and it's like, okay, maybe so, like if they're very low incline, like those flat stairs that but like the ones that are like steep, oh my gosh, it's a nightmare trying to make that work.
Oh, I imagine. Plus, keeping it stable while everything's moving. Ugh. Hello, maintenance.
Well, that's why we're doing this now. Makes awkward joke and doesn't know what to go from there.
He laughs anyways.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's fun.
All right, so just like, yeah, just continue. I guess that you would have gotten whatever panel it is off the wall now.
Yeah, just pull it off the wall. A little bit of wall comes with it, even though everything was like it just stuck to it. I'm like, oh no. Oh.
I like wince and twitch just a little bit, and I'm like, it's okay. That is easy to like somebody who dents your drywall. It's like, okay, that's an easy fix. But now that's something else I got to do. Okay.
Oh, that wasn't even attached. Ooh.
Don't point out my failures.
Hey.
It's on my to-do list. It's a very long. I basically Frankensteined two ships together. There's a lot. We keep getting attacked by mushroom people who have some kind of interesting literature when you get into it, but like that's not important right now. I'm only on like chapter 16.
Does Brooke like shy away or anything from just like casual contact? like a hand on shoulder or anything like that?
I think under normal circumstances she wouldn't, but like the fact that you are covered in pointy spines makes her a little wary.
He's wearing
You know,
gloves,
like
I imagine.
kind of like like if you've got a cat, like
Mhm.
how your cat like next to your sleeveless arm, you're just like a little bit like, oh, contact, but are you going to be pokey now?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of that. So like a little, depending on like bare shoulder or not.
Yeah. Gomez is wearing gloves, and so he just
Okay.
gives her like a pat on like just the shoulder,
Okay,
not
then she's fine. Yeah.
not none of that weird, awkward lower back touching. Don't
No.
do that to people, listeners. But just like a pat on the shoulder, like, hey, we're doing fine. Your mess is our mess.
It's permissible if you're moving somebody from danger or awkwardness, but only for the duration it takes to just gently guide someone out of the way.
Yeah.
I think that's just me. Anyway, but yeah, so she's okay with the shoulder pad. She accepts it, especially because gloves.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of like what would we just be working on behind a panel? I mean, like I arbitrarily want to say rewiring, but that sounds so generic.
Maybe we're in.
Some of the bees have gotten stuck in there and started building a secondary hive behind the panel.
I was thinking because like do the bees have to get out of the engine room to like go eat or no? They stay.
Yeah.
Here. They stay here.
There
No,
is lots
they do
of flora in the engineering room itself, but it's just generally good for them to like I think occasionally stretch their wings.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go and they bug Jisan and like steal some of his like I don't know if he's got fruit trees or anything growing in or like little plants like that, but they do that. So but yeah, if they're flying, there's some spaces that it's probably better if they don't fly into because it's hard for them to leave. I don't know if you ever seen a bee with a glass window, but so yeah, I'm guessing that we would be like gently removing whatever wax is there and like just trying to like gently chisel and melt away at it so that it comes off, but without damaging the bees or the equipment that's already there.
Yeah. Room is probably a little smoky too because we're probably trying to put the bees to sleep. They just go to sleep.
I generally keep a light mist in there just to keep things going, but then I also like am smoking out those panels to get any little bees that might still be buzzing around on the inside to get them, like, okay, there's a big open hole now. Move out the big open hole. Beekeeping. Keeping my bees.
Yeah, the bees are able to... You're able to maneuver the bees out pretty efficiently. And yeah, there's actually a bigger space behind this panel than you originally thought.
Huh. We could probably extend the kids' room a little bit into here.
Into my workshop, into the engineering room?
Well, I mean, we could take it from the other side to here if we wanted to close this spot up, if we didn't want the bees in here.
Yeah. I'm just kind of like looking around at the stuff that's kind of pre-existing in the space. I'm like, yeah, I think I could reorient this stuff so that it's nicely tucked up here, and then you could just like, put a new wall up, knock out the old wall. Might open up the room by like an extra 1.5 feet, 2 feet.
Yeah, maybe just enough room for a little loft or something.
Ooh, a loft. I like the sound of that.
Right?
Right? Okay. So yeah, I start like, I'm imagining there's like pipes and cords and stuff, and I just kind of start like, gathering the cords and like, like arrange, that thing where you try to make sense of all the cords behind your desk. Doing that and yeah.
Gomez is helping out. They
loosening pipes so we can reorient them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Getting some new like elbow joints. I forgot the terms for PVC, but those things and just rerouting things.
We're doing lots of rerouting.
Yes.
We're also going to reverse some polarity, and that'll fix everything.
Tachyons. We're doing
Oh yeah. Nice. All them particles.
Tachyons deal salt damage. It says so on my new quality. If we do it, it's canon. I'm sorry. I'm going.
We're going off the rails here.
Are these episodes canon? Who knows?
They are for us.
So yeah, we'll work on giving the kids a little bit of extra space in their quarters.
Okay.
That sounds like a noble goal.
Right? I feel like maybe like it's moved to the point where like we're almost done on this side, and so now it's just a matter of going around to the other room, knocking down the old wall and putting in a new one. So like I guess I kind of start to like half pack up the gear over. Oh, well, first putting back the wall so that the bees can't get back in, because that's what we started to do in the first place. But then also like, you know, like asking you like, okay, like gather up the tools so we can move them over while I finish up this wall over here.
Yeah, we'll like drill some holes in the wall so that we know where our boundaries are when we go knocking down
good
stuff.
call.
And then call the kids. I imagine like maybe one of the kids is on the other side. There's just a little hole. Like a
We're
little
gonna
hole.
start drilling. Step away from the wall, just in case.
We're like, hey,
Have you seen that episode of Shaun the Sheep where they drill through the wall?
No,
No,
Okay, maybe that's just me because I have a toddler.
that's okay.
But there's
I have a
there's an
very
episode of
small
Shaun
toddler.
there's an episode of Shaun the Sheep where they drill through the wall and like Shaun's head is right there and it just misses him by like an inch and he's like, oh boy, that's. So I'm just picturing the kids like I'm just picturing the kids just hanging out reading a book in their room and then all of a sudden.
We're careful.
I'm trying not to think of. Has anybody seen Mouse Hunt? Is that too dated a reference for some people?
No.
I've seen it.
That is one of those like perplexing movies that like in your adult life, you'll just randomly remember a scene from it and you'll be like, what the.
Somebody greenlit this.
Right? I mean, it's so, but there is a scene where, like, because they've got a mouse that's living in the walls, and so at one point he's, like, nail gunning where the mouse lives. And it's, like, terrifying as a child to watch this mouse get pursued by nail gun. So I'm kind of like, let's not do that to the children.
So that's how Tums Tums remembers this, but nobody else does. Like,
Right.
years down the low road, he's going to be like, remember that time you almost killed me with that drill? And we're going to be like, hey, I put a spacer on that. There's no way that drill went more than, like, a couple of millimeters because we use the metric system in the Wildseas.
Take that!
Except for temperature, because Fahrenheit is very useful for temperature.
Well, I mean, like when baking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we leave that to G-San.
For a second, you were going to say we leave that to Jesus. And I wasn't going to disagree. Yeah, okay, I'm on board.
Jesus can use Imperial because it makes sense. Moving on. So we kind of clean up, and I guess I'm just kind of reaching to pick up tools at this point.
Yeah, Gomez will help you pick up stuff. Takes his glove off and like wipes some.
It works better with the fingers. I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reaching for the tool at the same time. Just
Their hands like his hand comes to rest on hers.
Yeah. Gently goes for the socket wrench, and then your hand comes down, and we stop, and we look at each other.
And that's where we're going to end the episode.
Well, and then it just like fades out, fades back in the clinic.
Smash cut to the clinic, and I've got like barbs in my hands from your.
I'm really sorry about that. I didn't see your hand there.
Yeah. I'm like trying to be generous, but also like I work with my hands for a living, and I'm just really glad we didn't hit a bone or a nerve.
No. I I imagine Gomez is one of those cacti that look soft.
Mm.
If that makes sense, like, so it's like more like
Yeah.
Yeah.
hairs. So he's like, yeah, just get ready, and then he just like it's like waxing, pulls them all out.
Owie.
And we're going to end the episode
Yeah.
there. I was Ian the Firefly.
I'm Bev the Rook.
And I'm Jonathan the Ectus.
Awesome. Okay, so I am Ian the Firefly, and we have...
Austin playing ZT Yaku, the Zealocray.
And Dylan playing Jisun, the Gao.
And the two of you have found yourself on the Delta Flyer in search of different food, as the crew is currently getting a little bit rowdy over the fact that it's been the same thing day after day after day, and they're tired of it, so they sent the two of you on an away mission in the Delta Flyer.
So, I think the line was drawn with Saw Nana Spaghetti.
Son of spaghetti. Sorry. Oh, you know, I really only have so much to work with here, right? Like.
It was a valiant effort, don't get me wrong, but spikes do not make good spaghetti.
Oh my god. Okay, so where are we taking this boat? Because like I can't like our alternative for meat source here is the legis, the mighty legis, right? Like
That thing
Like,
still creeps me out now. I'm made of legs.
like I guess I could make a jar of pickled hooves.
Stares at you with a spider.
Like, oh my god. Oh, this is the worst.
It would actually. You're not wrong. I can send out my spider sack and see if it can see anything up above.
Your spider sack. Oh man.
Hey, and I bring out like my newly formed chimeric amalgam.
Yep.
And it's like this little winged webbed spider thing. I kind of
Can-
send it up.
Can we just call it the caw?
Yes, because the cause is creepy. Oh, okay, yeah. So I send up caws up into the sky to look for some Legos. Because pickled hooves is starting to sound real good at this point.
Oh man, I can't believe we're gonna do this. It's the worst suggestion, and okay, we're doing it. Let's go whole ham.
Desperation makes for a uncomfortable bedmistress.
Okay. So, like, does the Delta Flyer have an engine, or is it me? Like, are we rowing, or I guess we'll prow our way through.
It's got a small little saw engine on it, but yeah, you have to row a little bit to kind of help maneuver it and such.
Okay, yeah, we'll guide us along, and we'll start following after Ka as he figures the best direction to go.
Yeah,
So,
he's winding you through the trees and such.
He should be able to find one for. He should be able to find one for us pretty easily. And I look through his eyes and look for the closest Legos nest.
Yeah, you can find one fairly easily.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll roll up on these Legos. What's our plan? You can just start shooting.
How do you want them? Do you want them alive for their bits? Do you want them dead for their bits? How would you prefer them?
I'm pretty sure a humanely putting them down is good for everybody involved.
All right, because I can definitely. I have options for taking down things.
That's great. Unless we're planning on selling these nightmare beasts, I would suggest that we just kill and butcher them here.
So, yeah, you immediately kind of walk out, go find the smallest, pack of them, and kind of see if I can take one down with my bow.
Yeah, You do. You guys don't need to roll on this, so don't worry.
I come back, like, dragging it over my shoulder. I got one. I don't like how its legs feel on my back. And I kind of, like, roll it out onto the deck like one of those squiggly squeezy balls from the 90s. Just but a bit drippy.
I'm gonna like pull out one of my chef knives from back on the thing. Like, actually, let's say it's just a standard cleaver, right? And I'm just gonna like shift one of the seats towards him a little bit, like a block, you know what I mean? And take a hoof off and just pop the hoof off the end, and then pop the nugget out. Right, take it out of the middle of the thing, and then like put it in a bowl, and I'm like, hand him the cleaver, and I'm like, well,
this is this cacophony of like micro wretches come from the bow of the ship. I've never really observed your cooking and preparation methods up close, and my God, call me a monster.
No, it's good practice, right? Like, you should be an expert. You wanted this. You chose this.
I can see the skill as he's so deftly doing this, but I'm just like horrified.
Dude, it's so bad. I don't. Oh.
So how'd you learn to prepare Legos?
What are you talking about? It's just chopping off feet.
And how did you learn to chop feet?
Oh, I was in the circus. As though that explains everything.
Yeah, no, that definitely causes a pause. He kind of goes through his memories. Circus. No, that doesn't match. Drog never mentioned anything about eating at circuses other than snacks.
Like, he's completely lost me. I'm just like, I'm giving him a blank look, and then like gesturing, like kind of the Ace Ventura spear in the leg, kind of like right here, this is my leg, and I'm gesturing that it's missing, but in a way where it also still doesn't really explain anything. And then I'm going to go back to chopping off feet.
I see. Your point is very adept. What is the benefit of eating such a interesting food option? I didn't even know you could eat hooves.
Well, you're not really eating the hoof. You're eating like the little nugget of meat inside the hoof.
That sounds great.
To be fair, is there really a lot else going on with this thing? You know what I mean? Like, the Legis is a nightmare creature.
Have
there
you
is
found
nothing.
a body, or is it just legs?
It's that there is nothing. It's just legs. They're fused at the center like a sun, like a sun of legs.
My God, there must be a lot of scissoring in this area.
Sometimes I think I've died and gone to hell. It turns out that hell is just more people.
So are all gal like you with the long ponytail and the penchants for cooking feet?
I'm gonna at this point I'm gonna realize that he's standing over shoulder, and I'm gonna move my hallucinogenic spore cluster out of his face and be like, whoa dude, maybe you should give me gently give me some personal space here before you start going way too far.
What's the harm? They're just so bright.
Just
pretty. Do they do anything?
Yeah, that's where my hallucinogenic spores issue from as well.
Oh.
Yeah, bro. As soon as you start describing the sun-like ball of legs as beautiful in any way, shape, or form, while I'm sitting here just covered in hoof juice. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, maybe you should back off just very slightly. And you know what? I'm gonna drive the boat home.
I'm gonna sit back, staring in wonder at the ponytail, looking back. Wait, I've seen your ponytail dip in the pot of soup sometimes.
I'm just like, nah, man, that ain't me. Like, even though it was like, yes, very clearly this is me. I'm gonna flash back to the moment when I was actually very intentionally doing it, and then like they were all completely messed up, and I'm just sitting there like glad that they're all finally leaving me alone. And it's like, no, dude, if I want a day off, we all have a day off. I might be the only one that remembers that we had a day off.
Oh my gosh.
Just snap back to reality. Yeah, no, man, that ain't me.
Why is this delivery late? I don't understand. We had a week. Where'd the days go?
There's me sitting on. You guys are all just like squabbling and fighting imaginary dragons and like setting the ship on fire and all this other sort of stuff. And I'm just sitting there like sunning myself.
Jisun's low-key a maniac in the background. Just like flashbacks after flashbacks of like all the major scenes, him doing something nefarious or like just for him.
Dude, it's when you're naturally hallucinogenic, it's so easy to be selfish.
Flashbacks to poisoning the apes into worshipping us.
Yeah, dude, and it's like if that goes wrong, like you know, it's 50-50. It either completely saves your butt or it makes everybody super mad at you. At which point you turn into a tree and nobody can find you.
So upon coming back to the ship and craning on board, I kind of stumble around a little bit happier than normal, looking around at what seems to be some carnage on the deck. Oh, you guys seem to have some fun while we were gone. What's up?
And yeah, we'll end it there. I was Ian the Firefly.
I was Austin the Zitsuyaku.
Yes, I was Dylan. Jisun.
Awesome.
Gao.
And we are sponsored by nobody. Signing off.